the blessed NFC East in all its splendor. What happened this week? Let's talk about it, man. This is Around the NFC East with your boy, Lil Brunson. It's 5 a.m., man. We just getting it in a little bit, but let's get to it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was a crazy, crazy week in the NFC East, if I do say so myself, man. So we're going to start with the Thursday game that happened between the Commanders and the Packers. We already know how that game ended. This video was almost a week late to that game, but it was some interesting developments that came out of that game. So basically, the Commanders looked like they were outclassed. They looked like they weren't in the same league as the Packers. We just gonna call a spade a spade. I don't want this to cut none of you Commanders fans deep, but I gotta tell the truth and I gotta talk about what happened in the NFC East. And the Commanders, basically, they got schooled, man. They got bullied. They got beat up. The quarterback looked shaky, in my opinion. The Commanders' defense looked shaky, in my opinion. They just didn't look like true contenders in that game, for real, to me. They were beat pretty bad. They looked a little lost on offense. If it wasn't for Zach Ertz, 95-year-old Zach Ertz, then I think the score of the game would have been a little different for sure. They did a lot of things in garbage time, but ultimately they lost the game. The biggest thing that came from that game is that Jaden Daniels has a knee sprain. A lot of people are speculating what kind of knee sprain this is. Nobody knows for sure what's really going on. But at the same time and at the end of the day, he could miss this upcoming game against the Raiders. And that would be very unfortunate for the Commanders, if you ask me. Because you could say, based off the Raiders' last performance, that the Commanders can still beat the Raiders. I mean, I guess that is kind of fair to say, but at the same time, nobody wants to lose 2 games in a row unless you're the New York Football Giants. So I expect a different Raiders team to come out and, play well. The Raiders lost to the Chargers. The Chargers are not a bad football team so far this year. So, we just got to see how that develops. But, in all, the Commanders start 1-1 out of 2 games. So, things could always be worse for them, but they avoided that 0-2 start. So they're in good graces for sure. Then you get to the Cowboys and the Giants game. This Cowboys-Giants game was simply, I think it was, how can I say, in totality about this game. I like how Russell Wilson turned back the page. He turned back the hands of time in this game. He essentially looked like 2013 Russell Wilson. Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys, they were up for war. It was a shootout. At one point, I called this game a classic. You know what I mean? I still believe that this game will go down as one of the best games of the football season this year, just due to the sheer volume of bombs that were thrown in the air. I mean, Russell Wilson was lighting them up. Russell Wilson and Malik Neighbors was giving them boys fits. Wan'Dale Robinson at times. It came down to the turnover situation, man. Dak did throw a pick, but so did Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson threw his at a later time. And then in that game, you also notice how Aubrey is so valuable to the Dallas Cowboys, man. Being able to send that game to overtime with a kick that long, then being able to win that game in overtime with a kick that long. I saw the Giants defense in spurts and spots look somewhat elite. And then also I saw the Cowboys defense in spurts and spots look very, very vulnerable. You know what I mean? It was a shootout. A lot of people are saying Diggs is burnt toast. He got burnt. They were doing whatever they wanted to him. It was just amazing to see, man. The sheer volume of back and forth. I got to the Eagles game late because I just had to see how that game ended. That's what football is about for me, man. That was a great game. But at the end of the day, somebody had to lose. And the Dallas Cowboys avoided starting 0-2, and the Giants definitely started 0-2. So, I mean, what do you say, man? What do you say? I think where the Giants went wrong at in this game was even trying to appease the let's put Jackson Dart crowd in, because I don't think Jackson Dart is better than Russell Wilson. I don't think Jackson Dart is better than Russell Wilson. The Giants are just a shit organization who used week 1 when a lot of teams look bad week 1, and they just basically said Russell Wilson's not it. So to save Dable has to go. So to save Dable's job, they try to incorporate Jackson Dart in a couple plays where he ran the ball One play went for negative yards, almost lost in the game. And who had to save the day? Russell Wilson on a bomb, I believe it was on 4th down to Malik Neighbors. Jackson Dart right now cannot tie Russell Wilson's jockstrap. Like, let's be for real with this, bro. I understand you got a young, exciting rookie, but he's behind Russell Wilson for a reason. For a reason, he's behind Russell Wilson, man. So let Russell Wilson have the comfortability of knowing that he got the team this year, bro. Let him have that comfortability of knowing that, man. But if it's anybody that can handle the adversity, it is Russell Wilson. But to be screaming for Jackson Dart off of one game, like, come on, bro, that's not fair. That's not fair to be screaming for Jackson Dart off of one game. You know what I mean? A lot of teams didn't look good week 1. You know what I mean? And, you know, I looked at the Dallas Cowboys game, well, how they played and how their defense got taken advantage of, and it just made me hate my offensive coordinator that much more. I'm going to keep it a buck. You know what I mean? It made me hate the Eagles offensive coordinator so much more because the Dallas Cowboys defense is not good. And we made them look good week 1 because of incompetent play calling week 1 during the Philadelphia Eagles Dallas Cowboys game. That brings me to the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. Listen, the Kansas City Chiefs are 0-2. This video is not about them. This is about the Philadelphia Eagles right now. The Philadelphia Eagles start 2-0. They play 2 very formidable opponents back-to-back, the Dallas Cowboys and the Kansas City Chiefs. A lot of people didn't have us being 2-0 in this spot. I definitely did. But the first thing that I have to point out right now is that my defense is still trending towards elite. We still got some things we got to figure out. We still got some things we got to do. But I like where my defense is right now. What I don't like is the offensive play calling or just the offensive plays in general. Like, pick a poison. You're going to be bad at plays or you're going to be bad at play calling. We seem to be bad at both. You know what I mean? We seem to be bad at both. And I'm one of them guys, I'm a firm believer that I believe this, that if Dak Prescott and Patrick Mahomes hit on a couple of them deep balls, it don't look like we have the offensive competency to win a shootout right now. It doesn't look like we have the offensive capability to win a shootout right now. But nevertheless, we are 2-0, and we have to give some things time to gel if you're a Philadelphia Eagles fan. I'm impressed with my team's resiliency. I'm impressed with my team being able to win, because that's ultimately what it's about. If you could play defense when you need to play defense, and can you win when you need to win, that's how you win Super Bowls. You know what I mean? I know a thing or two about a championship roster. I know a thing or two about what it takes to win a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? I have a lot of Super Bowl videos. You know what I mean? When you talk about the other guys on the NFC East, it's not a lot of Super Bowl videos going around. It's just not. It's me, and that's it. You know what I mean? I got a lot of Super Bowl videos, so I don't feel like we're really off from where we're supposed to be. The fact that we keep winning while we're trying to figure out this offensive thing gives me hope for the future. But at the same time, not impressed with the offensive play calling at all. Not impressed with the offensive play calling at all. Not impressed with how, you know, and shit like this gives room for weaklings to say Jalen Hurts ain't doing this thing, or to say A.J. Brown ain't top this, or Devontae Smith ain't this. You know what I mean? Because the offensive play calling, and then you got the offensive coordinator in interviews laughing and shit like something funny. It's nothing funny. It's nothing to be happy about. You're not good at your job right now. We're 2-0 because the quarterback not turning over the ball and the defense is playing pretty good. That's why we're 2-0 right now. We're 2-0 because we have championship pedigree. We're not 2-0 because you're calling fantastic plays, timely plays. Kevin Patullo need to get his shit together, because we got a firefight this week against the Rams, and I don't know if your defense is able to hold the Rams to 17 points so your offense can slow walk itself to 20 points. I don't know if that's able to happen next week. We got to get this shit together, and we got to get it figured out now. You know what I mean? We got to get it figured out now. So that's my take on the week for the NFC, man. And make sure you use the code at the bottom right of the screen, man. You know what I'm saying? Get with Sleeper, man. Get $100 off your $100, man. Best app in the world, man. I put some crazy picks in last week. I was unsuccessful. So I think what we need to do is a live pick for what's going on. But yeah, man, check out Sleeper, man. Tell your mom, tell your friends. Use the code at the bottom right of the screen, and you get a $100 match. You always want to gamble within reasons, gamble responsibly. Terms and conditions may apply. But, you know, it has live feeds, live news, everything, man. Sleeper is just here to give you the game from a different aspect. And if you want to put $100 in the sleeper app and get $100 back at $200 total to gamble with, why would you not do that? Why would you not do that? You're going to do it anyway on DraftKings, but who has a code for you? They don't. Sleeper do. So get with Sleeper, man. Super Friends out tonight. The Super Friends will be back between 8 and 9 o'clock. The whole gang is there, and we're going to give our perspectives of where our teams are starting the first two, man.